Hey everybody, my name is Adam and welcome back to Almost Sideways, a place for movie conversations. Today's conversation is part 2 of our Edgar Wright journey, our journey with Edgar Wright, and this is Shaun of the Dead. Let's roll the intro.
Start with Launchpad McQuack.
That's not the actual title of this.
We are Sex Bombs! 1, 2, 3, 4!
As I said, my name is Adam, and this is a place for movie conversation. Today's conversation is with a special guest, and that is Loretto of the Suit Up Geeks podcast. How are you doing, my friend?
Doing quite well on this nippy California morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to survive this Washington heat, which is a weird phrase to say, but we're surviving. Speaking of surviving a zombie apocalypse, that is, we're talking about Shaun of the Dead today, and this with Edgar Wright, and one of your favorite Edgar Wright films. Why is this your favorite Edgar Wright movie?
I just feel like it balances like almost every single thing that Edgar Wright does well. The details, the writing, the score, the editing, the quick cuts, and like matching the action with the music, which is something he did like in Baby Driver and like Scott Pilgrim. And it's funny, and it's the terror, the horror aspects are actually really strong as well. And I just love the mashup of the genre. I think the poster that got me before I saw the film, it was a romantic comedy with zombies.
With zombies.
Yeah, with like an ellipsis.
Yeah, I think this is I think that's a different poster. But yeah, I love that romantic comedy with zombies. Yeah.
And I feel like it captures everything he does well. It's just everything in all of the above.
Yeah. It's one of those movies that is completely rewatchable, and you don't even have to be a fan of the zombie movies per se. I don't think it's just because there's more to it than just a zombie apocalypse movie. There's that love triangle, or not triangle, but the romantic comedy side of things. There's a love story there. There's good comedic elements, and it's a fun time overall. Do you remember one of the first times you watched this movie, and what was your initial reactions to it?
I was floored. I actually was lucky enough to see it in the theaters when it had a small theatrical run, and I was literally, I wanted to jump out of my seat and like applaud. I had that much fun. I wanted to watch it again. Like you said, it's just endlessly quotable. It's just so fun with the situations that you get put in, whether it's comedic or horror. He plays on both. Like, when their first time they get attacked, they figure out like, oh, we could use the records to hit them, and then they have to decide which records they want to throw, and there are certain ones they kept. It's like, you guys are about to die, and that's what you guys are doing.
Yeah, that was the first record I ever bought.
Right.
Yeah, I love how Edgar Wright does something with his movies every single time, where he sets up certain gags, and he might set it up earlier on in the movie and then pays off later. And I think a lot of that is that he does pull off brilliantly in this film. With the roommate to one of my favorite scenes in the movie is that opening tracking shot where he's walking to the store, just going to give himself a beverage and something else to eat, I think, and just walking up, and you see all the people going about their daily lives. But guess what? He sets another shot exactly the same way, but now it's the next day, and it's a zombie apocalypse basically taking over. So everything's completely different, and Shaun is such an oblivious character in that moment that he doesn't recognize that things are bad. Even when he opens up to get like the little carton of milk or whatever, there's a big old bloody handprint. Doesn't even notice it. He's like, he just puts the money on the counter, and it's awesome. It's just seeing like you as a viewer, you're picking up on these things where the character hasn't even done. I love when movies do that at times because it's clicked with you, but like wait till the character itself finds out stuff's about to go down. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I actually love that you brought that up. It's both takes are one shot.
Yeah, that's what makes it even better.
And so Edgar Wright and his cinematographer are just following Simon Pegg, and the way it's set up is beautiful, and it's literally mirrored. It's just one's chaos and the other is normal mundane life, So
yeah, it's perfect. Perfect little symmetry in the film too, and it's just completely. It's different, but it's also the same. That's one thing what I really love. Edgar Wright can not just tell a story, have great comedic elements, add great editing to it, but also has an amazing cinematographer right alongside him too, to capture the moments that's inside of his head. And we mentioned with Hot Fuzz, Simon Pegg is at the forefront of this movie and the aforementioned Fuzz movie. One of the characters I can't imagine anybody else playing is Simon Pegg in this film. His Shaun's character. I think Shaun is probably my favorite character in this movie, and it's pretty easy because Simon Pegg's electric in it. He's a very kind of stagnant individual, but also one of those ones that he kind of breaks that being static to becoming a hero of his own story, which is awesome to see him do that. So what's a performance in here that if you took out would the movie wouldn't feel the same to you? Is it Simon Pegg or is it a different character?
100% it's Simon Pegg. And the thing with him is, I think audiences always love an underdog, but more so they love like a lovable oaf, like Simon Pegg, honestly, he's kind of like a down in his dumps kind of just, bottom of the barrel kind of character. Like he should be doing better with his life. He should be doing better with his girlfriend, but he's not. He's lazy. He's just stuck being a supervisor, like supervising like teenagers, making fun of him. And he's like, I'm not that old. I'm 29. And then like the 17-year-old's like, okay, well, you're going to do something with your life. When?
Yeah, when are you going to do it? Yeah.
Yeah, like when are you going to do it? And then like that look of like Shaun's face, like, shit, my life sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just he's funny, he's charming, but like I was saying, like he's also kind of just like someone you can root for, but at the same time you could also like it's kind of frustrating how why didn't you just make a reservation with Liz? Like you couldn't do that. You couldn't pick up the phone and make a reservation that earlier. So yeah,
you bring up the Best Buy Circuit City knockoff like discount store that he works at. The technical store that he works at, and I love it. Those teenagers like they're on their phone, clearly disrespecting the hell out of the guy. Doesn't respect him. Like on the phone, like, "Oh yeah, this was a personal call." He's like, "No personal calls at work." And then all of a sudden, a phone comes in. It's like, "It's Liz." For Shaun, he's like,
right.
"It was a person from corporate. It's not. It wasn't that person." He totally tries to undersell what was on the phone call. I love the little gags they set up here, and obviously the "red on you" joke where his pin leaks on his chest that gets played back later as well. Yeah, if Simon Pegg wasn't on this movie, it would completely be different. And it's crazy. I'm rewatching Band of Brothers. I'm watching Band of Brothers for the first time. He actually makes a small appearance in that show, and that was from 2001. He's like, wow, Simon Pegg. It blew up. A lot of people blew up from Band of Brothers. I don't know if you've seen the show, but there's so many big actors in there. But Simon Pegg was in it, and it's crazy to see how his career has kind of skyrocketed into these goofy comedies. Let's see. What's out of this movie, what's like the worst performance that you have to go with? Like the performance, like I didn't really care for that. Everything else was fine. This is a little tough.
I mean, I wouldn't call it the worst performance, but I mean, I think I just can't help but be annoyed every time David talks.
Oh, yeah.
But that's I feel like he was written that way, but he is just such a thorn in everyone's side. Like he's always just like sucking up to Liz and like dumping on Shaun. Yeah. And I don't know. I just didn't care for his character, but I think that's also a testament to the way he was written. So
yeah, David, good old David. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think also if I had but I talked about this on another review. I hate dumping on kids and old people. So I think the mom is not really. The mom was like, I get the mom character. She's being a sweet little old lady, but it's like, I'd rather see maybe David, but. I think after hearing what you said, I think David might be the worst just because maybe he's written that way. So let's see. Nicolas Cage. Who would Nicolas Cage play in this movie?
Oh, man. To my point, I think Nicolas Cage could have done a better David.
Oh, there we
go. Kind of just like that weird like side character, the roommate of Liz, that's just like kind of low-key obsessed with her and doesn't... I think that'd be fun.
Like a 90s, like early 90s, late 80s version, like a younger version of Nicolas Cage, and he could play do the same exact things that he's doing, but just play it a little better. I can see it. I can definitely see that.
I think the line delivery would just be way better. Like,
I agree. I would love to see Nicolas Cage just pop up as a zombie too, just randomly like, oh, there's Nick Cage zombie right there with his bad hair and
kind of like Brad Pitt in I think it was a Deadpool 2.
Yeah, Brad Pitt just randomly appears in this short little scene. If I had to pick some, I can also see Nicolas Cage, like today's version of Nicolas Cage playing his stepdad too, Shaun's stepdad. Bill Nye's character in this one. I can see him being a complete dick. Like just
that's a good choice.
Yeah, I can see that. Bill Nye is great in this movie too. We haven't even talked about him yet, but he's it's weird to see the total different performances where he's like this really mean jerk with a hard outer shell, but maybe he really does care about Shaun quite a bit, even more than Shaun realizes it. And then you can see him in Hot Fuzz where he's like this little police chief, and he has like really funny lines in the opening of that movie. Let's see, the best scene in the movie. What's one of your favorite scenes?
Oh, 100%. It's when they're locked up in the Winchester and they just realize, like, oh, you know what? The zombies know we're here. We're in trouble. And then the barkeep shows up inside.
Yeah.
And while they decide to attack him with pool sticks, Queen starts playing.
Yeah, great scene.
And it's just brilliant. It's just a brilliant balance of like, oh shit, like this is actually kind of scary, but this is also funny because Queen is playing in the background while they're fighting for their lives, and they're like hitting him on beat. It's like with the pool sticks, and then I love how Simon Pegg's like, turn the Queen off, you know?
Yeah, turn the Queen off. Yeah,
kill the Queen.
It's perfect Edgar Wright editing with the music, perfect music choice. Every time I hear that song now, because of this movie, I have to dance to the music that's like the mom and the other girl did. I have to do it. It's just how it is. My daughter also really loved Queen because of this movie too. Like she hears that little sign, she's like, I love play the Shaun song, Dad. It's great. So yeah, she loves that song. One of my favorite sequences in the movie, I mentioned the opening, the 2 tracking shots. Those are awesome. But I'm gonna go with that when they first encounter the zombies, when they're going through the records. It's such a little funny moment there. I really enjoy that. That's little sequence. It's not the most craziest action. It's not maybe some of the best comic, but it's funny. I can definitely see myself going through what CDs do I want to get rid of? Oh, no, get rid of this one, get rid of that one, and try to kill these zombies. And I love it when the one girl falls on Shaun. He's like, freeze, and he's taking a picture of them with the zombie on top of them. Yeah, Nick Frost's character. I love that little sequence. I also really like when they're walking through their team is walking and they encounter the actual opposite versions of them. So it's like all the friends were all the same people addressed.
Some of them almost have the same clothes, almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's like exactly the same people, basically. I think that's another little quick, funny little moment too. I really like.
Also, I didn't catch this the first time I saw it, and I actually just noticed it last night. Martin Freeman is Simon Pegg's doppelganger.
Oh, wow. Jeez. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, if you ever watch it again, it's like, and he doesn't say anything, but he's right there. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like,
yeah, Martin Freeman. There we go. That's another thing I love about Edgar Wright movies. They always have the same actors pop up in them. It seems like there's a lot of them like that. So I like that. It's great. How about the biggest douchebag in the movie? We always do that on this show. Who's the biggest douchebag in the movie? I think we kind of alluded to who it is.
Actually, I have a hot take.
Oh, here we go.
Ed's a freaking asshole, and like some of like the worst situations they're put in is because of Ed. Like when they're trying to get into the Winchester, some guy calls him to pick up weed, and he answers it and like talks as if they're not getting chased by zombies. And then actually, what gets the zombies to get aware of the front of the bar, he plays that video game. It's like a pinball machine or something like that. Yeah. And he starts it up, and they're like, no. Yeah.
That's a great freaking call. Yeah, I was thinking more of like David's kind of that guy. I'm like, I wouldn't want it, but you're absolutely right with Ed.
He's an idiot.
He is an idiot. Yeah, I like that call. I'm gonna flip mine to Ed here. Yeah, Ed is a great. But Nick Frost brings something maybe not a likability, but just plays that role brilliantly in that role, and just like this lazy guy who's just a complete idiot who's clueless and is all about himself in those situations. So yeah, Ed is a fantastic call here.
You know, also there's a really funny moment where they're on the way to the Winchester and Shaun's getting attacked and Ed's on his cell phone. You can actually see him in frame like this. And then afterwards, like Shaun's like, please come, like help chip in anytime, you know? Like
I love it. That's great. How about the best minor character in the movie? I'm gonna let's see. Thinking about that, the gun, the Winchester itself, the actual gun.
Nice.
The Winchester bar itself, the location is a great little character piece in this one. But if I had to pick anything, I think I'm going to go with Bill Nye's Zombie. The dad, when he turns into a zombie, he has enough wherewithal to realize that the music is too damn loud and he needs to turn that shit down. Like, he's like, nope, I might be mean, but I'm turning this music off right there. But he had the emotional, yeah.
No, he's great. Bill Nye is great, and it's like that's what I mean is like with Edgar Wright, like you go into this thinking horror comedy, but that scene with him and Shaun in the car is actually like really heartfelt. Yeah, and it kind of like tugged on my heartstrings a little bit, you know, like the father-son dynamic, and he was just like, "I've always loved you, Shaun." You know, he's like bleeding from the neck.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh, you know, and he like Simon hated him forever, right? That's a great choice actually. So yeah. I think I would choose. I can't recall the actress's name, but I would choose David's girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
And she's like a failed actress, and like she has like these quirky little like comments and like snarky little things she says that's just kind of memorable for me. Especially like I liked how when they were impersonating the zombies, she was like their acting coach. Yeah. And she was like, okay, so notice he's limp, and you know, so let's get loose, and then notice the facial expression. It's like sad, and you know, like she was like analyzing the zombie, like as of it, like she's acting.
Yeah, that's a good call too. That one of the characters that you kind of don't remember right away when you're watching. Like, yeah, that character is pretty funny actually. Let's see some little
she's great.
Yeah. Let's see here. What other? What's my next question? Go with that. Anyway. What are some other like really funny things you want to touch before we wrap up here?
I think the thing with Edgar Wright is like the devil's in the details, like details. And Shaun of the Dead is obviously a play on Dawn of the Dead. Mm-hmm. The store that Shaun works at is Foray Electrics. Oh, wow. And the lead of Dawn of the Dead was Ken Foray.
Oh wow! Never looked that up. Yeah, never.
Like it's just amazing little details like that. And I also wanted to shout out that not flashback, but the plan of Shaun's plan where they go through the different ways, like, all right, we're gonna go to my mom's house, kill Philip, go to Liz's, have a cup of tea, and wait for this to blow over. And then like Ed's like, wait, no, we can't do that because you know we have to go here. And then like they do the same thing with the quick editing, and it's just like stuff like that is just so like iconic to me in terms of watching this film. Like, and then eventually they end up like, okay, we're gonna hole up at the Winchester, have a pint, and wait for this to blow over. And it's just like he kept changing the ending of the plan, and I just thought that was so fun, you know. So
yeah, that's those little devil of the detail things are what Edgar Wright's known for, and I think it's on full display here. I think this is one of his first movies that he actually did too, like his first mainstream movie anyway that he did, and it's just so amazing that he was like, this is my style, love it or hate it, you're gonna love it, I know, but still. He just put everything out there, and it's paid off. It's a great movie that I've probably seen this the most of any Edgar Wright movie. I think it's up there one of my favorite movies from his filmography. And who would be the biggest MVP, like the most valuable player for this movie? Is it Edgar Wright or is it somebody else?
You know what? I think I would make it Edgar Wright. I think his fingerprints are all over this film. Like I think in lesser hands, this could be a forgettable B movie. Yeah. And I think he elevates the material like times 10. I mean, he actually wrote and directed it, so he's elevating his own material. But I just think that he showcased what he could do here. And I think because of this film, his career took off. I mean, I don't know if we'd be talking about him if it wasn't for Shaun of the Dead. So
yeah, that is true. The I think if I would have to pick something, it would be either Edgar Wright or even the person editing this movie too. I should have pulled up his name, but a person's name. But I think perfect editing with the quick cuts that what we were talking about earlier, with all those little iconic little quick moments that he does, with also putting the music at the perfect notes as well. A lot of it's contributed to Edgar Wright kind of overseeing everything, but without those two people working together in tandem, I think this movie is definitely a lower B movie that's kind of forgettable, like you were saying. But Edgar Wright definitely is one of the most valuable players in this film. How about the least valuable player, the person that is absolutely not so good? Is it teenage employees at an electronics store? Because their customer service is not good.
I hated those kids. Man, that's tough.
That is a tough one on this one. I think I'll start it off. I think I will be going with the teenage employees. Their work ethic is not that good. Sorry, people, if you're watching, and if your work ethic is great, awesome. Comment down below, let me know. But I think for me is these teenage employees in particular were just awful. They don't want to be there. They're just collecting a paycheck. They screw authority. They don't want to listen to Shaun. I think those are my least valuable players in this movie.
This is actually like really, really obscure, but there's a running joke in the film that they always talk about a guy that gives Ed information. His name is Big Al. Oh. And like the running joke is that, Big Al says the barkeep is North London Mafia. Oh yeah, but Big Al also says dogs can't look up. And that joke just kills me every time they say it. And then when Shaun finally pulls the dart out of his head and he's like, okay, all right, Ed, you're right, but dogs can look up. And I just feel like, Big Al, you're the least valuable player. Why would you think dogs can't like put their head up? I don't get it. So.
But he could also be the best minor character of the movie too, because he's such a minor character. We don't even see him on screen, but he gets all those little tidbits of information. It's a Big Al. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. I asked Ryan last time he was on, my last guest on Hot Fuzz. Make sure you check out the review right above our heads right there. How would you rank the Edgar Wright movies? Obviously, Shaun of the Dead is up there now. He's got... I'm not really including the Sparks Brothers because that one just came out recently. That's the documentary. But out of his main original movies that he's made, how would you rank them as of now?
Well, to be honest, my 1 and 2 flip-flop almost like every so many months, depending on which movie I just recently watched.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I flip-flop between... So as of right now, I'll go Shaun of the Dead 1, Scott Pilgrim versus the World 2, Hot Fuzz 3, Baby Driver 4, and then the bottom for me is At World's End.
Yeah.
That one, like, it's funny, but honestly, I gotta rewatch it. I wasn't crazy about it, honestly, when it first came out. It was okay compared to like Shaun of the Dead and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's the one that I've only watched the one time, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, so it'll be interesting to go back and rewatch that one for this journey to see if it changed my mind on this one. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead and Scott Pilgrim are my kind of two favorite. I'm not going to spoil my ranking yet because that's going to come. We're rewatching them, but I really appreciate you taking some time and talking. Shaun of the Dead is one of your favorite Edgar Wright movies, and getting nerdy with me on this zombie romantic comedy. So
yeah, no, man, it's one of my favorite things. And also one real quick thing.
Absolutely.
Shouts out to like British, like, because British like slang and British like speak is obviously different from how we speak or how Canadians speak, and there's just like little details like when the phone's busy they call it engaged.
Yeah,
and then it's like, I'm calling Liz, and he's like, damn, it's engaged, and then Ed's like, oh well, that was quick, like, you know. So it's just like those little details, like it's like it would only make sense in a British film, you know, stuff like that, or like you got red on you, like, you know, you would never say that. Like if it was me, I'd be like, dude, you got blood in your shirt, like. Yeah. But the fact that they say like, oh, you got red on you, like it's like that's such a British way to say it, you know. So yeah, I love those little British humor is awesome, you know. So
yeah, that's very underrated little comedic moments. Is like the verbiage that doesn't mean something different than overseas, which is awesome. I love how it transitions. So anyway, last time, where can we find you on YouTube, social media, and all that jazz? We can follow you down below.
So yeah, you can find my podcast at The Suit Up Geeks on Twitter. You can also find us on YouTube, The Suit Up Geeks as well. I'm on Twitter at Marcellus Durden. A proud member of Geekly Goods. Please go ahead and give them a like and follow as well. Once again, Adam, it's a pleasure. I love talking cinema, especially fantastic British cinema like Edgar Wright delivers. So I cannot wait for Last Night in Soho. I'm so excited.
Yeah, so excited. That's why I was like, I want to go back and rewatch his movies to lead up to that one, because that one's going to be a fun time. I'm going into it completely blind. Have not watched the trailer, and I will close my eyes if it comes on the big screen. I will walk out of the previews if it happens. I'm going blind on that one. So
I respect that. I do that as well. I'm trying to do that for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, good call. Man, it was crazy when Hulk showed. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. He didn't show up. I was just kidding. Anyway, no, yeah, that I do that every year. I did that with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I did that, and I was able to survive that, and also The Hateful Eight too. So those are some movies that recently I've done, and The Revenant. I think those are the big ones I've done.
Nice.
And it was a challenge, but I got it done. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, my name is Adam with the Almost Sideways podcast. You can check our podcast. All those links will be down in the show notes down below. Make sure you also subscribe here on YouTube so that so you can stay up to date and join that movie conversation. Again, thank you so much. Look out for other Spielberg reviews, Edgar Wright movies, deep dives, conversations, a lot of fun stuff. We have Criterion reviews coming out with our guy Zach, Nicolas Cage reviews with guy Todd. A lot of fun conversation here to be had on Almost Sideways. And also Suit of Geeks. Check us out, both out. Subscribe. Anyway, talk movies. We'll see you later.